Hello, it's Heather with Prescriptive Living. This is where our savvy singles come to get tips to fail-proof their life and love. Today we're going to talk about the 3 attributes that are essential if you want to be able to have a fulfilled life and a fulfilled love. These are the attributes that are common in those who are living it out, okay? So we're going to get right into that, and then we're going to share some areas at the end that are really important to recognize, because these are the things that end up getting people off their path, off their journey. And then we'll give you the way to be able to create those 3 if you want in your own life and walk. If you like our content, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. And let's go ahead and get started. So the number one most important aspect that people who actually get to a place where they're really loving their journey and their experiences, because our measurement is really in the most simplistic form. Our life is made up of experiences. Our love relationships are made up of shared experiences. So your measurement can be in the most simplistic fashion. Am I enjoying my experiences most of the time? And with the person I'm doing life with, am I enjoying our shared experiences? If either of those are off whack, out of course, usually one complements the other, then this is a good place to be, because we're going to talk about why that happens and what to do about it. Okay, so be encouraged. So those are the things you want to look at. We're trying to help people see the right measurements so that they can get the right outcomes. And experiences, independently and shared, are one of the key metrics. And so the number one thing is awareness. And the awareness component is not just of self, meaning what I like, what I don't like, what's important for my path, what are my skills, my passions, my things that make me alive, things that make me attractive, things that make me desirable, things that, all of those things where there's really, you become an expert of your own self, because the only thing in life that you have control of is yourself. And what you do with that determines your outcomes, right? 80% of the game of life is the skills, and 80% is the soul, which is the mind, will, and emotions, the thinking, how stubborn and prideful and ego-driven we are, and how our behaviors impact. And behaviors have a lot of layers to it, from movement to emotion to even dysfunction. And so the level of awareness we have in all of those layers impacts how well we can navigate our journey, and also understand the unique attributes of people that we're connecting with and building relationship with, professionally, in family, and in relationships, all aspects. So awareness of self and awareness of others in their most unique element, that is not something that comes to the second state, which is number 2 is authenticity. Okay, what happens when people are not aware? They end up not becoming authentic to themselves. They're projecting an image that they're trying to present to please people around them, or present a surface thing, and it's all external driven, right? And life and success, none of it is surface level. It's all here, and then skills, 80% in the soul, 20% on the skill level. And so really being able to be authentic to who you are and what makes you vibrant is important, because when that doesn't happen, when people are not being real about what's going on, then they often get imposed on or impose on others. And those things break connection and relationship with people, and they squander your potential in your life. And so this is where people end up settling, end up just not enjoying their moments, having kind of a dull experience. Okay, now the final thing, this ties into life and love as well, is alignment. Okay, alignment. Alignment is so important for where you're spending your time professionally, where you're doing relationship as well. And I've asked many people over the years about if they know the things that are essential for relational health and alignment. Not one person has been able to pinpoint what any of them are. And not having that awareness makes it impossible to meet the needs. So we have a lot of people that are not doing relationship and partnership well. They, are just kind of getting by. And this is a relationship that impacts your environment at home tremendously. And then the work environment is where you spend 60% of your life. So these are important things to be able to align well on, to be able to enjoy your journey through life and through love. Okay, so again, we were talking about awareness of self and others. We're talking about authenticity, to be true to who you are, and to prevent from imposing on others or having others impose wrong ideas. And then finally, alignment, professionally and relationally. And so we have broken all of our prescriptive living courses into 2 primary courses, and we have others too. But the first course is going to be Failproof Your Life. Second one is going to be Failproof Your Love. And in the Failproof Your Life, we're doing it this Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be a course that basically allows people to build out their blueprints to be able to understand a lot of layers, 30 layers deep, of who they are, what makes them thrive inside, what makes them, what they want, how to get there, literally kind of expose barriers, also expose some of the things that may be blocking them because they're funky in personality, funky in thinking, funky in the things that really mess a lot of people up. So we're going to go in, we're just going to help get people to be aware of it, and then how to navigate through and forward through it. And then we're also going to bring some understanding in about gender differences, because these are becoming a very fuzzy line right now, and they're causing a lot of challenges. So we're going to help bring that, because all 3 of the things that we just talked about with the behavior and the personality and the gender differences are the areas that, generally speaking, will cause a relationship to go south. So it's just good to be really aware of what all of these nuances are, so that you can navigate with each other together rather than against, right? So that's it. On top of that, we also are throwing in our internal compass assessment into course 1 for a limited time bonus offer. And that helps you align professionally towards work that you love, because it reveals your internal motivators that propel you to succeed. And it's super important, because when you're in conflict with those, life is very, very stressful. So that's being thrown in as a bonus offer for a limited time. So we're doing this one Sunday. And then in a couple of weeks, we're going to do the Failproof Your Love component of the courses. Failproof Love is so important, because on this, we're talking about the skill level and the alignment for relational success. Most people are doing relationships and they're bumbling into situations because they like each other, they're having a good time, they're having fun, they get attached a lot of times physically, but they don't have the substance to actually carry them through. And a lot of crazy things can happen. Broken hearts, broken dreams, babies come into the picture a lot of times, and with people who don't even end up liking each other. And there's so many terrible things that can happen. So it's really important to have understanding of what it takes to align properly, because it's not what anybody thinks it is. And if you don't know, chances are you're going to misalign and you're not going to be able to carry that relationship through. This, in fact, for people who are in a relationship and it's kind of in a settling, status quo, icky state, we're going to make just the 7 core needs of the sexes, which is an alignment component for relationship, available as still a standalone offer, so that you can get that. It's like relational, a shot in the arm of B12 for relational health, because these 7 must be nurtured, all 7. And awareness has to be there for that to be able to happen. But to have a good relationship, there's a lot more. Being able to have the skills and the awareness to align and the understanding. So in the second course, we're going to cover all of those. Like I said, I have not met one person who knows what these majors are for alignment. And so as you can see, most people are not, the data suggests just over 10% are doing this relationship well. And it has tremendous impact. And so this can all change. And so that's what we're doing in our second course. If you want to fail-proof your life or your love, you should be in those courses, because that's going to give you the ability to break through all the things that block the reaching of those outcomes, and they're all guaranteed, so there's no risk in doing so. And on top of that, if you let life be your playground, the consequences can be a broken heart, a lost job, a lost financing, losing of things, losing of key relationships, an unplanned pregnancy that ends up causing lots of layers of complexity. In life, the playground is not as safe. When you get the skills and awareness before you go into the playground and end up totally derailed, then it's much harder. I mean, there's nothing worse than having a broken heart. And sometimes a broken heart happens because life happens to us and what's happening is totally out of our control. But when life goes south because of the choices that we make, then our only option to not have those patterns and outcomes happen is to take responsibility for the only thing we have responsibility for, self, right? So you get awareness and you get the skills and you can navigate and get where you're going. We absolutely can fail-proof life and love. It's very simple to do, actually, but it does require getting the barriers that exist in the soul and then getting the skills. And the way you can tell, there's 3 things you can tell that if you're on a path that is going to mess up your journey towards getting fulfillment in life and love. Okay, so we're going to touch on those and we're going to sign off. Okay, so this will be pretty quick, but there's 3. Number 1 is if you're having repeated patterns over and over again. It's like, look, honey, Big Ben, Parliament, circling the same mountain, not getting a different result and not doing anything different. Well, that's a pattern. And the only common denominator in that pattern is the person that is you. And so if you're going to shift that pattern, you have to shift your functioning and awareness. And so that is one component. That's one. So recognizing if there's a repeated pattern that's getting you the wrong outcomes, that's kind of a red flag, right? Or a wake-up call to pay attention to and figure out what you're going to do about it if you want different outcomes. If you don't do anything, your outcomes aren't going to change. And that's okay if that's what you choose, but it's better to have the right expectation of what's going to happen. The second one is if you're just not enjoying your moments, your experiences in life by yourself and with your partners. If you have a partner, the shared experiences, that is a measurement that if those things are off, again, indicator on you want to do something with that if you want to get a different outcome. Okay, the final thing is if, and this is more relationally, but if you did not have a model set before you that showed how to have a really vibrant connection with another person, and you haven't done anything to get the skills to do that, chances are you are not setting yourself up to actually have a good, healthy relationship. And you'll probably be part of that 88% who are struggling unless you do something different. So this kind of maps out a little bit more of the deeper layers of what is important to recognize, to understand if you're going to get to be part of that group who is living their most vibrant self in alignment and aware and authentic to who they really are. Okay, so that is it. Cheers to living and loving well. We're so excited for our course this weekend. If you're interested, we will put the link in the description soon. You can also see it at Prescriptive Living's Facebook page, so get social with us if you want to. It is available there now. And cheers to living and loving well. We'll see you soon. Bye.